Hello and welcome to the Weekly Rewind presented by Attractions Magazine. I'm your host, Theron White, and this week we're going from Monday the 12th to Sunday the 18th. Starting on Monday, we go back to Orlando United Day. It has officially been 1 year since the Pulse tragedy, and a lot of Orlando was coming together to kind of celebrate the unity that the whole entire city came together as one because of that tragedy. It didn't separate us. It didn't make us any worse. In fact, it kind of brought everyone together. We have here where Universal was celebrating, saying love is universal. We know that they've also put up a tribute window inside of their park because of the tragedy, and as well here for Attractions Magazine, we were showing our love and unitedness as well. On Tuesday, we showed off the newest Attractions Magazine. Now this is going to be our summer issue, which talks about Pandora, Volcano Bay, Happily Ever After, and much, much more. If you look on the front cover here, you can see the shaman from the Navi River journey, and on the back is a photo of the Pandora floating Hallelujah Mountains, taken by yours truly. If you haven't been able to keep up with all the things happening in Orlando now and coming in the future, this is a great way to kind of catch up with all that, or if you want to have a more in-depth look, we definitely have stuff to deal with that as well. So you're going to be looking at everything, and not only with Disney and Universal, but SeaWorld, and looks into the parks, looks into the local area, everything you're going to want to know. Definitely check it out for this summer edition of Attractions Magazine. On Wednesday, we posted a front row POV of the Busch Gardens Williamsburg Verbolten. Now, if you haven't ridden this coaster before, it has numerous launches and an indoor section. Really cool coaster. Shows off kind of the beautifulness of the Busch Gardens Williamsburg Park. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. It's on our YouTube channel and you can see it right now. Also on Wednesday, we talked about how the different ownership of Disney parks around the world, kind of how that works out. So over in California, Disneyland Resort has 100% ownership by Disney. Here in Orlando at Walt Disney World, Disney also owns 100%. But what about parks across the entire world? Over in Japan, Disney actually owns none of Tokyo Disney Resorts, neither Tokyo Disney Sea or Tokyo Disneyland. That is 100% owned by the Oriental Land Company. So Disney kind of leases out and lets them use their name and their properties. It is built by Imagineers, but the actual park itself is not owned by Disney. Now, the reason we pull this up is because one of the most recent things to happen around the world is at Disneyland Paris, because Disney, as of June 2017, June 19th to be specific, Disney's going to own 100% of Disneyland Paris, where previously they only owned 76.7%, with the rest being owned by the Kingdom Holding Company. Now, this is a pretty big deal because Disney's now going to own 100% of this, and that'll be only the third park that they own 100% ownership of. To continue on, the other two parks we have is Hong Kong Disneyland, where the Hong Kong government owns 53%, where Disney owns 47%, and then in Shanghai Disneyland, they own 43%, and the Chinese government owns 57%. So that's a fun fact, something I didn't know about until recently. I thought Disney owned all their parks, but that is not true. Like I just said, Disneyland and Disney World here in the United States owns 100% by Disney. France is owned 100% by Disney as well in the upcoming summer, but most of the parks, especially over in Asia, are not even half owned by the Walt Disney Company. Then on Thursday, we gave you a bunch of POVs of the new Kraken Unleashed virtual reality coaster at SeaWorld Orlando. Now, Kraken was a previous coaster, but they added and upgraded to add the new VR option, and a lot of people are saying they're really liking it. I have personally only seen the videos, but I really did like the Kraken coaster, so I can imagine VR is only going to plus it and make it that much better. We have a couple different videos online, ones that you can try. There's going to be like the side-by-side footage, the just VR footage, but my favorite one was actually like the merge POVs, because you can kind of see the track behind the footage, and I mean, that personally is just my favorite way to watch it, because you can kind of imagine what it's like on the coaster while you're watching it. Anyway, you want to check it out, of course, it's going to be on our YouTube channel, so go and check that out and see SeaWorld's newest coaster. On Friday, we shared a new photo op that's going to be happening on the Pirates of the Caribbean at Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom. Now, this is going to be during your drop, right before you get to the battle scene in between the fort and the ship. Already a really great part. I wonder how the flash is going to affect it, though, because I kind of liked how you dropped in complete darkness. A lot of people didn't even know that the drop was coming, although I guess that will be a really great spot for some reaction photos. Fun fact, in case you didn't know why, the reason that you drop there right at the beginning is actually so you can go under train tracks outside of the Magic Kingdom to the show building, which is completely outside of the park. This Pirates of the Caribbean was not built when the park originally was. In fact, they did not have plans for there to be a Pirates of the Caribbean ride in the Magic Kingdom, but because of its huge popularity and people demanding for it to be there in Orlando, they built it, but had to make a slightly smaller different version than the one over in Disneyland, California, and that is the reason why near the very beginning, after seeing all the dead skeletons, that you immediately drop and go into like the show building and then come back and have to take kind of like the escalator style slow moving ramp back upstairs. That's their way for basically get you out of the park and then right back in. So kind of fun facts about that, and that's kind of why it does that. Continuing on Friday, Attractions Magazine was able to share a photo that I myself took. It was of one of the monorails, Monorail Blue specifically, with a bunch of ambulances all around it. Now, originally, they had a bunch of fire trucks out with ladders, which kind of led everyone to believe that, oh, they could be evacuating this monorail, getting people out. Not for any safety reasons. It was nothing like that where people had to freak out. It was just, sometimes the monorail goes down and there's nothing you can do if they're not able to get help right away. Luckily, they were able to get out one of their monorail pushers. I do not know the technical name at all. I'm just going to call it the monorail pusher. So it pushed it back to the station where everyone was able to safely get out. There was also supposedly someone found a piece inside the Epcot parking lot. I'm sure that's related somehow. Not exactly sure. We haven't heard an official statement or anything like that. I don't think we ever will. But that is what happened. Prepared the monorail stop. But again, everyone was fine. They all got out. And luckily, we did hear that once they got up, they were heavily taken care of by guest relations. They were able to get fast passes to attractions or anything that they possibly missed. So great that Disney was able to kind of take care of that situation and really fix it as quickly as possible and get everyone out and back to their magical days. On Saturday, we shared the Ignite Nighttime Spectacular show for Electric Ocean at SeaWorld Orlando. Now, this is a fireworks show we'd heard about a little while ago, and we know that fireworks shows happen at Universal and Disney, Disney's newest one being Happily Ever After, and that one was seen with massive reviews, and so it was interesting to see when SeaWorld opened this, and from the footage I've seen and what everyone's saying, it seems spectacular. They've got lasers, fountains, really great music, fireworks, so it really seems like an awesome show to come to SeaWorld, and for it just being a summertime one, I don't know, that might be something they'll be able to push back, because if you look at some of this footage, it just looks awesome. The whole Electric Ocean party has really just come together extremely well, and people are giving it amazing reviews. So whether you're a pass holder that hasn't been there yet, a person who has maybe not visited in a while or not at all, I recommend going and checking out this show, because just from the photos and videos alone, it gets me really excited and makes you want to go back to SeaWorld and go and check all the new stuff that they have to offer there. Continuing on Saturday, we look back 1 year ago to see all the brand new things that debuted at Walt Disney World on June 17th. We had Soaring Around the World at Epcot, the new update. That would mean that June 16th last year was the last day for Soaring over California. Sad to see that one go, but I am glad for the new Soaring to be such an amazing update, for having all the new places like the Taj Mahal, going over to Egypt, flying over Monument Valley, a ton of stuff like that. So that came out June 17th. The same day, they did kind of a preview for Anna and Elsa for you to be able to go and do their meet and greets in their royal summer house, as well as Star Wars: A Galactic Spectacular. All those came out last year, June 17th. Continue talking a little bit about Star Wars. It appeared that Boba Fett is now free walking around Hollywood Studios. I don't know if other characters are as well, but that's the one we were able to check out. It was really nice because for him just being a stage character, he was talking, interacting with guests. He wasn't the biggest fan of photos, though. Not that he was being rude or anything like that, but he was definitely keeping his more of rugged exterior, just standing there, keeping an eye out all over the park, standing right around the stage near the Great Movie Ride. So it was just cool to see him walk around, speak to guests, and I hope it's something they're able to keep because it seemed like guests really enjoyed being able to see him walking around. Lastly, for Saturday, we share this photo by BioReconstruct, as he said that some of his followers have pointed out that a lot of structural pieces have come together for the AT-AT or AT-AT vehicles for the Star Wars land at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now you can see here, they've definitely got some of the pieces ready for assembly. It's already happened over in Disneyland, California, so I'm so excited to see these. I will literally drive to Hollywood Studios, find an awkward spot to just park my car anywhere and try to peer over the fence because I want to see these things being built. As soon as they start going up, I'm sure BioReconstruct or here at Attractions, one of us is going to have a photo up. So we'll be able to see that, see kind of the top-down view of how they're being built, and I'm not kidding you, I will be driving over there just to see these things being assembled. Lastly, on Sunday, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, especially my own. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Now, we had this photo that we shared of Goofy and Max kind of dancing on the Disney Cruise Line as they were having a bunch of fun. And when we shared it, it seemed that a lot of you really liked this. It's one of our most liked and retweeted things in a very long time. So I'll give you a little clip here for you to check out. And if you'd like to see the rest, you can certainly go check that out on our YouTube channel. Now, lastly for today, I want to give a special birthday shout out to Caitlin Devine. It is her birthday, so very happy birthday, Caitlin. I hope you had an awesome time today. And that is it for this episode of The Weekly Rewind, presented by Attractions Magazine. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for reading the magazine. Once we get our new magazine summer issue in, we would love if you could take a photo, post it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you'd like. Just make sure to hashtag Attractions Magazine so we can find it, and thank you so much for purchasing the most recent magazine. We love your support, so thank you so much for doing that, and we'd love to see your photos with the new magazine, whether it be at home, in a park, or anywhere you're going to have it. Thank you so much, and I hope you have an incredible week.